Did you ever wonder why ocean water is so salty? Did you know that the freezing point of ocean water is not 32 degrees Fahrenheit like ordinary fresh water? Did you know that ocean water is actually layered and that dense ocean water sinks to the bottom while lighter water floats on top? Ocean water has some unique properties, and in this lesson you will learn about the properties of ocean water, including salinity, temperature, and density. Now, if you look at Earth from space, you will notice that much of the planet is covered in water. The vast majority of this water, about 97%, is found in oceans, and we cannot use it for drinking, cooking, or watering our flowers. The reason this water is not useful in these ways is because it has a high salinity, which is the amount of salt dissolved in water. In other words, ocean water is salty. If you ever went swimming in the ocean and accidentally took a big gulp of ocean water, this fact was unpleasantly obvious. But why is ocean water salty? Well, most of the salt that ends up in the oceans originated on land. Rain, as well as moving water in rivers and streams, washes over rocks containing the mineral sodium chloride, which you know as common table salt. The salt is then carried into the oceans. Salt can also find its way into oceans through underwater volcanoes that stir up salt and other minerals from deep layers of the earth. The salt in oceans becomes more concentrated over time, as water from the surface of the ocean evaporates, leaving the salt behind. Salt is the main chemical ingredient in ocean water, but it also contains other chemicals such as magnesium, sulfate, calcium, and potassium. Many scientists believe that life began in the oceans, so it's not surprising that chemicals found in seawater are important chemicals needed to sustain life. There are also gases dissolved in ocean water, including nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. Nitrogen is found in fertilizer and used to enhance the growth of plants in a farmer's field. If nitrogen-containing fertilizer runs off of farmers' fields and makes its way into ocean waters, it can cause some ocean plants to grow like crazy. These plants end up using more than their fair share of dissolved oxygen, which can suffocate other ocean creatures such as crabs and fish. This illustrates one way human activities impact the oceans. Oceans act as carbon sinks, which means that they are natural environments that absorb and store carbon dioxide. So oceans remove carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas, from the atmosphere, making them important players in the study of global climate changes. Oceans have a wide range of temperatures. The temperature is highest at the equator and grows increasingly colder as the water approaches the poles. Compared to air, ocean water has a very high heat capacity. This means that there is more energy required to change the temperature of water. In other words, it takes a long time for the sun's energy to heat the ocean waters. And once the ocean is heated up, it takes a long time for the water to fully release that heat. We also see that the freezing point of ocean water is lower than that of fresh water. Ocean water freezes at about 28 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a few degrees colder than the 32 degrees it takes to freeze fresh water. The reason for this goes back to our discussion on salinity. As the amount of salt in a body of water goes up, the freezing point goes down. Another physical property of ocean water to consider is its density, which is the relative weight of water with a constant volume. Ocean water density depends mainly on its temperature and salinity. Very salty ocean water is denser than less salty ocean water, and cold ocean water is more dense than warm ocean water. So cold, salty water will be denser or heavier and sink to the bottom of the ocean below less dense water layers that float on top. Let's review. Ocean water has a high salinity, which is the amount of salt dissolved in water. Besides the high concentration of sodium chloride, ocean water also contains chemicals such as magnesium, sulfate, calcium, and potassium, as well as dissolved gases including nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. Ocean waters range in temperature and have a very high heat capacity, which means that there is more energy required to change the temperature of water. We also see that the freezing point of ocean water, which is about 28 degrees Fahrenheit, is lower than that of fresh water due to the higher salinity of ocean water. Ocean water density, which is the relative weight of water with a constant volume, depends mainly on its temperature and salinity. Cold, salty water is denser and sinks to the bottom of the ocean, below less dense water layers that float on top.